Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll show you an action horror film, Train to Busan, Part 1. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. At a toll gate somewhere in South Korea, the antivirus staff is busy disinfecting the passing vehicles. It's said that a chemical leak has just occurred at a nearby biotech plant. While driving along the county road, the truck driver hits a deer by accident, killing it, which however revives later from its death, showing its horrible cataractous eyes. The fund manager Sok, an outstanding employee for a securities company though, is a divorced father with a 12-year-old daughter Susan, who is unhappy about her careless father and reluctant to accept her birthday present, which is exactly the same video game PlayStation she received on Children's Day. But instead, she wants to spend her birthday with her mother living in Busan. Feeling guilty for his daughter, Sok decides to take her to Busan by train. The next morning, they board the train at Seoul Station as scheduled. Everything seems normal at the very beginning, until a strange girl rushes inside, unnoticed to the train attendant, right before the train closes the door for departure. As the train departs, Susan is frightened by an unknown sudden attack on the attendant. She tries to tell her sleeping father, but to no avail. Meanwhile, the strange girl checks her mutant leg in a great panic, and passes out suddenly on the floor before the coming train attendant, who's calling for emergent care. However, the girl soon struggles to stand up, and turns into a zombie. The girl bites the horrified attendant, and makes her change very soon. The zombie infection spread inside the whole carriage rapidly. During the chaos, a male attendant urges the normal passengers to escape the zombified people. While searching for his daughter after his nap, Sok's then terrified by the zombies. He takes her daughter and runs backward immediately, with the zombie army chasing tightly behind. He runs all the way to a safe train car moments later, and closes its door to protect against the coming zombies, before a muscular guy and his pregnant wife can make it inside. But fortunately, the muscular guy knocks down a forerunning zombie, and forcibly opens the door before it's too late. While securing themselves safe temporarily behind the door, they observe that the infected zombies can't operate the door with low intelligence, but only attack if they can see them or hear them. Knowing that, they cover the transparent door with newspaper, causing the zombies to stop their attacks and quiet down. The muscular guy turns to blame Sok for his selfish behavior, but Sok seems able to defend himself with his own morals. He then makes a phone call to his mother, but only to find his mother infected. When the train reaches a small station, they only discover that the virus has taken over the whole station, where the passengers there are all zombified, and go on the rampage. The train has to skip the stop, and head to the next directly. People on the train fall into despair, especially when they learn from the news report of the rapidly spreading virus across the whole country. While the train broadcast is airing that the army will secure people's evacuation off the train at the next stop, Sok contacts his connections in the army, trying to secure safe travel for him and her daughter, which is overheard by a homeless stowaway. Not long after that, the train stops, and passengers begin to disembark, and walk into a suspiciously vacant station. As most of them head to the main arrival exit, Sok however, takes Susan to a secret exit. Susan is upset about her father for only caring about himself, blames him for his selfishness which results in his divorce, and insists on taking the homeless man who keeps following them. As the crowd reaches the exit, they get frightened to find the zombified soldiers, who charge at them quickly. Many lose their lives as they struggle to flee and race back to the train. At the secret exit however, the zombified soldiers are also waiting there, and nearly bite Susan, before the returning muscular guy rescues her timely. On the other side, Sok is saved by the homeless man, while struggling hard against the zombie. As more and more zombified soldiers are swarming up into the waiting hall, the muscular guy and Sok block the passage door, trying to give the survivors more time to escape to the platform for the train. However, the zombie army soon breaks the glass door, and swarms towards the platform. Some survivors board the train, while many others are still on their way. A selfish guy and some forerunners however, force the train captain to leave the station immediately, despite the baseball girls begging to wait for her best friends. The muscular guy manages to catch the train in the rear, with Sok and a baseball boy, before it escalates to full speed. while his pregnant wife, Susan, and the homeless man are stuck in the front 2 cars away and take shelter in the restrooms. Learning of their trapped loved ones, the 3 decide to head to the front cars for rescue. They fight their way through the zombie-filled cars under cover of the tunnel's darkness, which helps blind the poor eye-sighted zombies. After a fierce fight, they manage to make their way to the restroom, where they meet their family and loved ones. However, believing that it's not safe to stay there for long, they continue moving towards the safe front cars. People in the front car, however, seal the door tightly for their own safety and don't want to let them in. Those stuck in between have to fight hard to delay the upcoming zombies while trying to convince the selfish people to open the door. At the critical moment, the baseball boy breaks the glass door with his baseball bar, allowing them to get to the safe front car. The selfish guy, however, holds another door closed to stop their coming inside, but to no success due to the disruptions from the baseball girl and an old lady. The muscular guy gets bitten. Unfortunately, he keeps fighting hard against the zombies till his change, sacrificing himself to give Sock time to get the others to safety. Out of rage, and for the death of the muscular guy, Sock punches the selfish guy in the face, who however, falsely claims that they get infected. The rest people are all frightened up, and force them to stay quarantined in another car. The old lady, however, in great sorrow for the loss of her sister, and shaken by those people's selfishness, opens the door purposely, and lets the zombies into the front car, killing most of the other survivors. Soon after that, the train is forced to stop due to a blocked track, forcing the survivors to seek a new train. The selfish guy, surviving inside the restroom though, pushes a train attendant to feed the zombies, and rushes out for his own life. Right then, an out-of-control train causes a derailment, setting free numerous violent zombies from the train cars. While in his escape, the selfish guy continues to find his cover by pushing the baseball girl to the chasing zombie. The girl gets infected, and bites her crushed baseball boy, who's unwilling to leave but chooses to stay with her, without hormone let go. Moments later, the train captain comes with a locomotive for the survived passengers, and runs to rescue the selfish guy, who's tripped down on the run. The selfish guy, however, pushes the captain to feed the zombie, and manages to flee away himself. On the other side, Sock and the other 3 survivors are trapped under a derailed train car, facing numerous zombies, who are about to break the glass windows. The homeless man sacrifices himself to hold back a zombie horde, while the others escape out a small hole, and run toward a working locomotive. They manage to get rid of that crazy zombie army, chasing tightly behind, and finally catch the moving locomotive, before nearly getting bitten. After securing themselves safe by getting rid of the snaky zombie bodies, Sock gets terrified by the selfish guy, who shows up infected, and begins to attack him. Sock unfortunately, gets bitten when he saves the rest too from the zombified selfish guy, before kicking him off the engine finally. Knowing that he'll turn soon, Sock teaches them how to operate the train, and says his goodbyes to Susan, before throwing himself off the engine. The train later stops before a blocked tunnel, forcing the pregnant woman and Susan to walk through it. The tunnel exit on the other side, however, is kept guard heavily by military snipers for any infected. They prepare for fire on them until they hear Susan singing. Realizing that they're the human survivors, the soldiers move quickly to rescue the 2 to safety. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Peace out.